Well, somebody is enjoying these early pecans. They're not quite ready for us to eat, but it looks like the squirrels are already having a good time enjoying them. I might be getting mulch today. That is very exciting. I've been contacting places and calling places and then not getting calls back, so I ended up texting them and they text me back immediately. So they might be bringing some mulch by today. The change in weather has me starting to put together a plan for what projects I want to work on in the wintertime. Because our winters here in South Carolina are so mild, it is one of the best times to work on projects because the summer is really hot and it can be difficult to work outside for long periods of time in the heat. So the wintertime can be a really good time to do some outdoor projects. On that list, I definitely want to finish remaking my chicken coop. This chicken coop has served me fine, but with the predator problems that I had, I need to get it redone and change it up a little bit. So a lot of my plans exceed my budget. So we'll see how far I can get, but I always have very big plans and a very long to-do list. So I'm going around and seeing what I want to work on. I also want to make an additional chicken tractor. I have 8 hens and a rooster in that one right now, and I have my small chicken tractor attached to the front to double their space. But I want to make an additional chicken tractor to separate them and give them some more space too. And I'm getting ready to put my fall garden in. So we need to work on some composting and getting the garden ready for fall. And other big life decisions like, should I grow my hair back out or should I cut it short again? I'm going this weekend to get my hair cut, and I'm really debating between if I want to grow it back out or if I want to cut it short again. I mean, it is still short, but I don't like my hair medium length. I like it either very long or very short. I like them both, and there's pros and cons to each one, and I have such a hard time deciding which way I want to go. So let me know what you think. We all got hit with something like the flu for a couple days, so the kids and I are still pretty tired, but not sick. Just want to loaf around, kind of tired. So I've been trying to do some sitting down tasks like shelling beans, and then some up tasks like washing the dishes and dispersing them out, so I'm not on my feet too long but not sitting too long. But there is a lot of catch-up work to get done in the garden. Every time I get sick, I will say, I do not have time to be sick. But if you don't listen to your body will force you to listen and make you take a break. Another one that I started a video, it's still sitting waiting for me to finish it, is finishing the greenhouse. I got one side of it, what's it called? I got one side of it sealed and I haven't painted any of it yet, so that's on my to-do list for the fall too, and to finish putting the other vent in because I have it halfway in there and I never finished it. I skipped cheese making this week too, so I could make us a bunch of chai tea to enjoy. It's one of my favorite teas, and then I can put milk in it as I like without stressing about the cost of having to buy expensive goat milk. So it's very exciting having your own dairy. First thing I need to do today, since I've got all the animal chores done, I need to cut some of this holy basil. I'm taking it to forest school to give to one of my friends that we have been enjoying discussing plants and seeds and swaps and all of it. So I'm going to bring her some of this holy basil so she will have some to try, and some of it is starting to go to seed, so she should have some seeds from this as well so she can start growing her own next year too. This whole grocery bag is maybe a quarter of this entire plant. This holy basil grows crazy here. It does a very good job. Probably won't plant as many of them next year. And I'm hoping that they will self-seed some of them next year too, but happy to share this with people. Mulch again. I was literally jumping up and down inside, so excited to have mulch delivered. This came from my local electric company, I saw their trucks zipping down the road this morning, and so I texted the number that had called me since I hadn't been able to get a call back, and I got an immediate response, and I got mulch delivered. So my birthday came a little bit early. We're starting to get a spattering of persimmons falling down off the tree. The deer love this, and I got some last year and did not realize how big the seeds were and tried to put them through the food mill and then gave up. So this year I'm going to take the seeds out and the tops off and then just kind of throw them in the freezer until I'm ready. You being my helper? You got a persimmon?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done out here. I need to get the rest of these broccolis and cabbages pulled out, maybe pull these tarps over to suffocate some of the weeds, and then we can plant. One of the hardest parts about filming in the garden this year has been, besides the rain, has been that I have to do stuff in like 5-minute increments with kids sometimes, and I would really love to be able to shoot a long time lapse and show you lots of progress in one flash, but that's not how it's happening. It's happening in tiny small increments where I run out to the garden for 5 minutes, run back, run out to the garden for 5 minutes, run back, and get tiny little progress made every day. So what are we still harvesting in the garden in September? Harvesting dried green beans, and then we can use these in soups or eat them cooked in the Instant Pot. I've been looking for recipes to eat because I let way too many go to seed. They get really big really fast, and we don't like to eat them when they're large and tough. We are still harvesting tons of tomatoes. I pulled some watermelons from my patch over there today. I pulled a couple cantaloupes out. There's a volunteer watermelon that popped up in there, and it has the biggest watermelons of the year. Yes. You want to go to the other side?
Yeah.
Okay, here, ready? Ooh! There you go. A bug landed on her earlier and she was very upset. I don't blame her. I don't like bugs landing on me without notice either. I am like drowning in habanadas and jalapenos as well. I didn't make nearly as much salsa as I thought I would this year. My beefsteak tomatoes just didn't perform very well, and so I've only made a little bit of salsa. I don't have any salsa saved. So I have an overflow of these in the freezer and my jalapenos in the freezer, and I probably will put some of these in like some of those freezer bags for making quick easy meals of mixed vegetables that I just throw in a skillet and cook really easily. So yes, tons of these still, but I'm trying to think what else I'm still getting out of the garden. There's not a whole lot. Corn is all done. My yellow cherry tomatoes in the back garden are all done. There's still tons and tons and tons and tons of holy basil. I am going to start collecting seed on this soon. You can see a lot of it is starting to dry up and has seeds in there that we can collect. Like this one right here, you can see has some seeds. I have several gallons of cherry tomatoes in the freezer. I have a different plan for next year of how to deal with the tomatoes and the processing of tomatoes that I will discuss in a later video. The cucumbers are done too. There's one way overgrown one left on the vine that I need to go give to the sheep. We are still getting a decent amount of bell peppers. I'm still having some issues with the sun scald on some of them, but a lot of them are coming in looking really good. I ended up watering down some whey after cheese making, and hold on. Oh, you got a web on you. Oh, I see. Sorry, baby. You're welcome. I ended up watering down some whey after cheese making and watering the peppers, and they all looked much better after they got watered with some whey. But like some of them are still getting some sun scald before they are totally ripe. And quite honestly, I just don't get out often enough to pick them all before they get ripe. If I could get out every single day, but with our schedule and work and everything, I just don't get out every day. So with these like sun scaldy ones, if they're not too bad, I just cut off the sun scald part and use the rest of it. And as long as the inside isn't like rotting or has any mold in it or anything, I will still use them. And when you run out of baskets, that's why you have shirts. to carry more food to the kitchen. I have big plans for next year. My work situation is most likely changing, so I need to get a little bit creative and work on my business plan. And so I'm going to try to plan to commit to the farmers market next year. I have to commit to being there at least 2 weekends every month. That means I need to have product at least 2 weekends every month from like March until October. So I am going to have to plan to start seeds very early to have seedlings. So it's a big, overwhelming kind of commitment, but it's where I would like to see the farm go. And I have a little tag along. Ooh, not my neck. Okay, goodbye. I honestly don't even think that I'll really need to even plant cherry tomatoes next year. If even a fraction of what fell on the ground or was just unusable sprouts, I really won't need to plant tomatoes next year at all. But I will still plant some just to be safe and make sure that I have tomatoes, because every year I plant more tomatoes and I still find more ways to use tomatoes, and I don't cover all of our family's needs for tomato products. So I always plant more, and every year I need more, and I have not yet exceeded our tomato limit when it comes to making products. I have exceeded my limit for how much I can keep up with this year. So there's that. Just want to check on a few things before we call it a night. Check out our little seedlings and see how they're doing. They're looking good. Something is munching a couple of these ones over here. Look. Sweet potatoes have one more week in there. Hello, ladies. How are you? Just checking on you before we go into bed. Alright, well, we are going to call it a night. Take this stuff inside and try to get as much as I can put away as quickly as I can, and then tomorrow be back in the garden, because I am really excited to start putting fall stuff in, and I'm actually really itching to make my plan for next year. I know that might seem crazy, but I want to do it better next year than I did this year, and to do that I need to plan. Do you want to say goodbye? No. Alright, well, thank you guys for hanging out. It's always fun having you in the garden with me, and I will see you next time.